Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed here. We've returned back to Fatal 12. This time we're going to finish our conversation with this wonderful elderly person. I'm not sure whether he had the opportunity to taste his own mother's cooking or not. But something unexpected happened one day while we were dining out. He was watching the TV there, where one of those everyday shows were airing. One of the characters was the mother of a child around his age. There was a scene involving them both where the child looked elected while eating his mother's cooking. Quite your run-of-the-mill scene for such shows. But he started to cry as he watched it. He wasn't even sure why, so it must have subconsciously stirred up his forgotten memories. He'd watched TV plenty before that, but this was the first time he'd ever had such a reaction. Having realised what was going on, the book began to glow, and thus I obtained his card, his regret card. So what? I'm supposed to be a segregate for his mother? Don't you realise how unreasonable that is? Of course I do. That's why I offered up my cause of death in exchange. His tone turns far more coercive, likely in an attempt to pressure me into agreeing. The sudden change surprised him, but I hold my ground and stare him down. It isn't an attempt to hide my surprise or fear. I am just really angry with him. You only have yourself to blame for your regret. I am aware of that too. His painful acknowledgement is followed by him lowering his head. He lowers it so far that his head almost touches the floor. I realise now that treating like this a deal won't work. But please hear me out. It may simply be an attempt to satisfy my own ego. In this, I'd like you to make something for him. I need time to think. What's the correct way to respond this? It's entirely possible that Numerio 4 won't be able to fulfill his regret even if he lives through this. Not to mention that there's no way my cooking will help him to do so. What happens after I do all of this? Assuming I get his cause of death and use it to eliminate him, what would happen after that? Is he even thinking that far ahead? I want to do anything I can for him. That statement alone tells me that he isn't. At the same time, it tells me just how much he cares. It's the same mindset I had towards Sonia after all. I'll do it. Really? On one condition, it's already too late, so I'll make dinner for him tomorrow, but after that, I'm cutting all ties with you both. So don't hold it against me if I eliminate either of you down the line. Make sure to tell him this as well. Understood. As I said, I have no intention of going after other participants in the first place.
あの子が自分の意思で他の参加者を脱落させようと動き出したとき、わしは止めることはできん。
But keep in mind I won't be able to stop him should he decide to eliminate others. A brief tense silence follows this claim. He isn't bluffing, that much I can tell. That's fine. It pretty much describes the situation as it stands. I answer without much hesitation. My best option is to lower the chance that I become their target. Granted, I've already settled on agreeing to his proposition before taking that into consideration. His desire hits too close to home for me to refuse. Perhaps life would have been different had I been able to handle things like this in the past. He mutters under his breath. He likely intended for me not to hear him. I'm going home, for real this time. I'll be back around 6 PM tomorrow. Don't worry about the shopping, I'll handle it. Very well. It's about time I wake him up too. I watch as he pulls himself up on his feet. Is something the matter? You still owe me for the coffee milk. While we're at it, I want money for tomorrow's shopping too. You'll get your change back when I arrive. Stingy youngsters. It's common courtesy. I agree to cook for him, but I certainly won't be preparing a 5-star meal. I'm sure that he will wriggle out of paying me unless I demand it right now. So there you have it. He eventually gives in and hands me 3 1,000 yen notes. After that, I can finally leave. Ah, that's where it ended off, about 5 or 10 minutes later. I crash down onto my bed as soon as I arrive. Oh, jeez. Been a while since I last screamed into my pillow. Mahara would be like, "Are you an idiot?" if she were here. Without thinking, I talked to myself out loud. Not only did I succeed in gathering info about him, but I also met the boy staying with him. And I somehow agreed to cook that boy dinner. I didn't let myself be influenced this time though. I agreed to do it of my own volition. Dangerous as it may be to get involved with other participants, there's something far more important to figure out. Do I have what it takes to eliminate them after getting this started? I need to find my answer to that before I obtain all their cards. Time for a shower. Lucky for me, I've already gotten used to putting off for questions I can't answer yet. Yes, as one said already, probably. At school, yay! I go to bed each night confident that I'll wake up the next day. It's the one constant in my life, even with the advent of a divine selection. Well, on days where an election isn't being held anyway. I drag myself in bed to get ready for school like always. My plans for the evening are already set, so I won't be opening the store today. I've kept it closed so often lately that I'm starting to run out of excuses for my gran. Granted, she's never too persistent about me opening it up because we either make hardly anything out of it or we actually losing money. That, plus, she seems to realise that I'm caught up in something else at the moment. Not to imply that she knows about divine selection, of course. She most likely thinks I'm busy with exams or personal life. My grades are hardly stellar, so it's not surprising that she's concerned. I notice Naomi as I walk through the gate. She's with a friend, too. What kind of friend wouldn't we be if we did not talk to her? I feel bad stepping in when she's with a friend, but I might as well say hello.
Naomi, ohayo.
Morning, Naomi.
Rinka-senpai.
Oh, good morning. She turns and greets me with a smile. Right after that, she introduces me to her friend, informing her that I am the one who helped with the coffee stuff at the culture festival. It seems like she knows the rumours about me, but hasn't actually realised I am the subject of said rumours until now. She isn't intimidated though. In fact, she thanks me for my help. Looks like things are going smoothly on that front. The three of us make our way into the building together and then split up to make our way to class. Good. Goody good. Ah, evening time. Once I get back home, I have a look at what seasonings I should take with me when I go to cook dinner. I doubt I'll be able to get everything I need with the money he's given me, and buy new stuff would be a waste because I'm only going there once.
カレーでいいかな。カレーならおばあちゃんのレシピがあったはず。
I guess curry works. Pretty sure I've got Gran's recipe lying around somewhere too. Curry used to be a Linehouse staple before I took over. I've had to make it a number of times, but I've never made it from scratch. It should be fine so long as I follow the recipe though. Curry is pretty timeless too, so let's go with that. I packed some seasoning, spices, a pot, and a spare container before making my way to his house. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name, it's just too long and too long-winded. Beef, potatoes, onions, carrots, apples, and yogurt are the main ingredients I need. I head to his house after getting them. While I'm on my way, I make sure to keep an eye out for Frederico and numerial 11. I didn't notice anyone suspicious, but I think that's due to it being so busy at this time of night. I'm somewhat worried about more odd rumours spreading, considering the neighbours' attitude towards this place, but I should be fine if it's just this once.
Oh, 待っとったよ。
Oh, I'm pleased to see you actually turned up.
あ、お姉ちゃん。聞いたよ。ご飯作ってくれるんだよね。
Hey, it's the nice lady. I heard you're gonna make us dinner.
僕、何でも手伝うから。
Let me help.
料理って一回してみたかったんだ。
I wanna try cooking too.
お姉ちゃ
The
ん。
nice lady, huh? That's one way to shatter the illusion of me being his mother. I carry the bags into the kitchen and then hand he the recipe and his change.
そっか。じゃあ、じゃがいもと人参の皮を剥いてもらおうかな。
Let's leave peeling the potatoes and carrots to you then. Okay.
その前に、まず手洗い
Yep.
ね。
Make sure to wash your hands first. I put my apron on before washing my own hands. He follows suit, so I hand the potatoes and carrots over to him. Meanwhile, he watches the TV in the living room. First up is beef preparation. I dice the meat into cubes and then sprinkle those with salt and pepper. Beef can be a bit chewy, so I cut some extra slits in them to help with that. After that, I grate an apple into a bag alongside yogurt, honey, and the spice mixture from my Gran's recipe before combining everything. He looked up at me with a puzzled expression, potato in hand. Okay, what is this all about then, dear boy?
どうすればいいの？
What do I do with this?
ああ、そっか。そこからか。ピーラーは。
Alright, I guess I need to teach you from scratch.
じゃあ、見ててね。
I don't see any peelers, so I take the potato and show him how to peel it using a knife.
すごい。
Wow.
何にもすごくないよ。じゃあやってみて。ああ、包丁は危ないから気をつけてね。
It's nothing impressive. Here, give it a shot. Just be careful. I don't need you cutting yourself. The knife was surprisingly sharp. Not sure if that goes to show how little I cook or not.
僕が研いだ包丁でちゃんと料理できるなんて。
Wow. It's hard to believe I'm cooking with a knife I sharpened myself. I don't have it in me to ask why he'd need to sharpen a knife like that for anything other than cooking. Either way, he's able to peel a potato far better than me. Same with the carrots. I decided to leave all the vegetables to him.
目が。痛い。
That is what you would call the onion effect. My eye stain.
玉ねぎを切るとそうなっちゃうよね。
Yeah.
あ、目をこすったらもっとダメだよ。
Onions are a curse. Yeah, that'll happen when you cut onions. Just don't rub your eyes. That'll make it
お
worse.
姉ちゃん、やっと笑ったね。
Hey, you finally smiled. Huh?
ずっと怖い顔だったけど、今はなんかちょっと楽しそう。敵じゃなくて本当に良かった。
You were making a scary face before, but right now, you look like you're having fun. I'm glad you're not our enemy. I suppose I did loosen up the moment I started cooking. I mean, I'll be checking every now and then to make sure he isn't rummaging through my stuff, but it's true that I haven't been on as edge as I should be.
僕ね、楽しみなんだ。カレーは温めるやつで食べたことあるけど、どうやって作るか知らないもん。
I've always wanted to know how curry's made, so I've been looking forward to
た
this.
だ野菜切っただけなのにどうなるのかなって。
All I did was peel and cut vegetables, so now I'm even more curious about the rest.
じゃあ頑張ろうね。
Guess we'll have to make it extra good then. I let another smile slip. I can't help it though. Seeing his eyes sparkle with curiosity is too precious. Another part of me wishes that we'd meet under different circumstances. A part of me thinks that we did meet under different circumstances.
わーい、できた。
Yay, it's done. 2 hours later, it is finally ready. The smell wafting out from the pot reminds me exactly of the curry my gran would cook. I tasted to make sure it turned out fine, but I'm still nervous because other people are going to eat it too.
おお、ごちそうじゃな。
My, this looks fantastic.
お待たせしました。これでいいんですよね。
Sorry for the wait. I take it this will do?
あの子もとっても喜んでおるしの。お主は食べていかんのか。
He's over the moon, so it's more than enough. Will you be staying to eat with us?
まさかここまで来たんですから私もいただきます。
Obviously, I wouldn't come all this way to cook and then leave.
早く。
Come on, come on.
おお、すまんすまん。
Oops, sorry about
い
that.
ただきます。
Let's see how it tastes. I get started on mine after they dig in. It's not quite on my grand's level, but this is still pretty decent. It hasn't been too long since the last time I had an experience like this. Mahalu, Sonia and I ate together often before Sonia was eliminated. Funny how divine selection of all things is what blessed me with these experiences. Blessed? Huh? I guess I need to accept that I've been enjoying myself.
ちょっと味が濃くないかな。
This sauce is rather strong, wouldn't you say?
文句言わないでください。
I refuse to field any complaints.
とっても美味しい。お姉ちゃんの作ってくれたカレー、とっても美味しいよ。
This is so good. Your cooking's great. Oh, jeez, what a good kid.
おじいちゃん見た？これ僕が切ったんだよ。
Hey, didn't you know? I cut these by myself.
この人参か芋か。あー、とってもうまいの。
With carrots and potatoes? Well, you did a fantastic job with them.
わーい。
Yay!
親バカならぬ父バカ。
Are you more of a dotting father or a dotting grandfather? Whatever, I'm glad he likes it at least. I try not to insert myself into the conversation too much, opting to eat in silence instead.
昔を思い出すの。
This certainly brings back memories.
息子が初めて料理したのもカレーじゃったかの。野菜を切って喜んで。
Curry was the first meal my son ever helped cooked. If I recall, he was so happy as he peeled and cut the vegetables.
どうして今になって思い出すんじゃろうな。
Why is this coming back to me now, of all times? His eyes fixate on the curry as he recalls days long past. Small drops of water catches on his eyelashes as they form. I'm not sure how or when it happened, but curry's become the go-to household meal in Japan. Just making it tonight brought back memories of time when I spent with my gran, so it makes sense for him to be reminded of similar time he spent with his own family. A clang resounds throughout the room while I caught up in these sports. I turn my attention to where it comes from. It's a boy who had just slapped his spoon down onto his plate.
昔ってそんなに大事なものなのかな。
The past is what made you you. So, yes, the past is important to recollect from, but also it's important to look forward in life. Well, however much forward you've got left in life, unfortunately, within this circumstance. Is the past really that important? Neither of us answer his question. His gaze is focused on him. While he was recalling his past, the boy must have understood that he had no place in those memories, despite his fondness for him. Even worse, he has no memories of his own to recall in the first place.
僕はいろいろなことを忘れてる。でもおじいちゃんを見てて思ったことがあるよ。
I've forgotten lots of things from my past, but there's one thing I can say for
僕
sure.
の記憶の中にこんな幸せでゆっくりした風景はなかった。
I've probably never had a single nice and happy experience like this before.
お主
Do you?
あ、
Memories. All of a sudden he clutches his head and groans in pain.
ちょっと
Are you alright? It's just like the first time we came face to face outside the dream world. I was struck with a headache as well that time, but now it's just him. I wonder if there's somebody else nearby. He gets him to lay down, an expression of fear on his face.
大丈夫か
Are you okay?
落ち着くんじゃ
Calm yourself. Is it Alan nearby? Calm yourself. I'm not sure if he heard him or not, but he does eventually close his eyes and pass out. I'll help take him back up to his room. Once that's done, I finish my curry and wash the dishes. There is plenty left to spare, so I pack it into a spare container I bought and put it in the fridge. All I need to do is heat it up in a pot.
時々あるんじゃよ
This isn't the first time that's happened.
あの子があんな風になってしまうことが
You mean the sudden headache? Well, these sort of things spout out if you're trying to remember something that you've lost in your memories. So, if you have a case of amnesia and you're trying to remember something important from certain events that happen right now, it can make your brain go overload and really cause some very nasty surprises down the road. Not very good surprises. Very torrential headaches. You mean the sudden headache? He nods silently before continuing.
あの子が何かのきっかけに記憶を取り戻そうとするとき、それが意識的か無意識なのかはわからんが、ともかく頭痛に襲われているようなんじゃ。
He suffers from headaches whenever something triggers his memories. I'm not quite sure if it's a conscious or subconscious thing though.
その後は決まって寝てしまう。心配はいらんよ。数時間は目を覚まさんが、起きたら何事もなかったようにピンピンしとる。
It's nothing to worry about. He sleeps for a few hours afterwards and is perfectly fine once he wakes up. It's somewhat odd for him to be told not to worry about someone who's supposed to be your enemy. But even more odd is the fact I'm really worried. I really am worried.
すまんの。予想できたはずだったんじゃが、あの子が嬉しそうで忘れておった。
I should have anticipated this, but seeing him so happy made me forget all about it. Please accept my apologies.
いえ
It's okay.
じゃが、あの子が料理も食事も喜んでおったのは本当なんじゃ。
Yeah, that smile on his face. Really, really charming. He really did seem to enjoy the experience though.
分かってます。おじいちゃん思いの優しい子ですよね。選定がなければ弟みたいに感じていたかもしれません。
I'm aware I can tell he cares a lot about you too. I might have seen him more as a little brother if it weren't for divine selection.
選定がなければわしらは出会いもせんかったがの。
Yeah, that is true as well. So you say, but if it weren't for that, we never would have met in the first place.
そうじゃの。わしも改めて礼を言わせてもらおう。
Ho ho, regardless, allow me to thank you once again.
ありがとう。幸せそうなあの子を見ることができて、わしもまた幸せじゃった。
Just seeing him beside himself like that made me really happy as well.
はい。
Sure, I can feel my eyes straining throughout this exchange. I really shouldn't be thanked by my supposed enemy. The reality of what's going on here is all too clear though. Yet again, I'm struggling to come to terms with what I need to do in the face of this small happiness felt while spending time with them.
さて、ここからはお主が昨日言った通りにしよう。
This seems an ideal time to make good on our promise from yesterday.
はい。お願いします。
Yeah, it'll be for the best. I won't be involved with them anymore. That's the ideal outcome.
タッパーは返さなくていいです。正直、私もちょっと楽しかったです。だから、あんまり負い目は感じないでください。
Keep the container with the leftovers. I actually enjoyed this a bit more than expected, so don't feel bad about dragging me into it.
もともと気にしとらんから大丈夫じゃよ。
Ho ho, worry not. I never felt bad in the first place.
さて、別れる前に約束じゃ。わしの死因を教えよう。
Before you go, allow me to tell you my cause of death. He switches to a far more grim topic before he even bothers to sit down. I honestly wouldn't have cared if he'd forgotten about this part of the promise. I still don't know if I have it in me to elect him before, well, even after learning it. Chances are high that I won't be able to, since I've gotten this attached to them both. So I'd much rather not know at all than face regret and self-loathing over knowing. yet been unable to relate them. But at the same time, I can't refuse to listen now that he's brought it up.
孤独死というのはわかるじゃろ。
You're aware of the cases where people are discovered dead in their homes, I assume?
はい。たまにニュースでは見ますから。
I've seen reports on it on the news every now and again.
わしもその一例じゃよ。
I am one such case. Elderly people living on their own is already a problem in its own right. The risk of them passing away without anyone noticing gets higher if they have no relatives or friends in the neighborhood to check up on them. I expected this to be the case for him after hearing how rumors had spread about him having starved to death and whatnot.
わしは腰痛があっての。ふとした拍子で痛みが来て動けなくなることも多い。
My lower back isn't in peak condition, you see. You see, I'm prone to a sudden onset of pain, sometimes to a point where I'm unable to move at all. Sorry about that.
じゃからなるべく缶詰や即席料理なんかを買いためておったんじゃ。まともな料理をしておると急に動けなくなってガスも止められず火事なんてことになりかねんしの。
That's why I made it a point to buy as much canned food and ready-made meals as possible. The last thing I wanted was one of those episodes to happen while cooking, leading to a fire.
それは言い訳かもしれんが。それはいい。
That may have just been an excuse for me to be lazy, but let's set that aside for now.
雨の日じゃったかの。これまでで一番ひどい腰痛が来た。わしは動けなくなってしまった。
The
立
worst,
って動くことすらできんほどじゃ。
the worst episode ever struck me during a rainy day. It was so bad that I couldn't even crawl.
あとはわかるじゃろ。水も飯もなければ人は生きていけん。数日のうちにわしは餓死した。
The rest goes without saying. No one can survive without proper sustenance, so it was a matter of days before I starved to death.
一日経ったあたりから記憶が曖昧での。正確な日時は思い出せん。
Okay. My memory's rather fuzzy after the first day, so I can't give you an accurate date as to when I died.
自宅で餓死なんて情けないとは思うがの。家族に捨てられたわしの末路としてはふさわしいかもしれん。
Oh gosh. Passing away all alone in your house, in your home, is quite the pathetic way to go, isn't it? It may be fitting for me, though, after I caused my own family to abandon me.
そんなことは。
That's not true.
よいよい。お主も感じているとは思うが、わしはひねくれもんじゃ。
No need for sympathy. I'm sure you've realized how clinical I am by now.
あの子に会って少し変わったくらいじゃ。いや、少し戻ったという方がいいかの。家族と仲が良かった頃のわしにの。
I do feel like I've changed somewhat ever since meeting him. Perhaps it's more accurate to say I was able to go back to how I was during the days when I still got along with my family.
確かにあったんじゃよ。そんな頃も。せめてもう一度会いたかったの。
It's somewhat hard to believe that there was a time we all got along like that. I wish I could have seen them at least once before I died.
いかんの。年寄りになると辛気臭くなる上に話が長くなる。
Ho ho, my apologies. Looks like I've become a stereotypical talkative old man.
わしのことを脱落させにくくしているわけじゃないんじゃよ。これは本音じゃ。
Okay, trust me when I say that this all hasn't been an attempt to make it harder for you to eliminate me. He's spoken his regret loud and clear, a regret so simple that anyone could understand it. If there's one thing I know for sure at this point, it's that I won't be able to elect him without hesitation.
では、私はもう行きますね。
I'll be taking my leave now.
夜も遅いから気をつけるんじゃよ。
It has gotten rather late, do take care.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you. I don't have much to say regarding his cause of death. There's no doubt that my facial expression as he told me was enough to get across how I felt though. As I approach the entrance, a knock echoes down the hall. Someone's at the door.
ちょっと待って。
Oh
こ
dear.
んな時間に。
Wait.
借金取りじゃないといいがの。
People wouldn't normally come by at this hour. I hope it isn't a debt collector. He stumbles back and falls flat on his rear right after looking through the peephole. I'm not sure what he's saying, but the knocking grows even more fierce.
お主は
You're... He hurries back to his feet and reaches for the door once he recalls he has not locked it. I'm shocked his back hasn't given out, but it seems he's faring much better in that regard due to divine selection, much like how Sonia's illness had subsided. Now it's obvious what's going on. It has to be those two. I try to get out the door, but he stops me. Not like it would have mattered either way, since the door has already been opened. They probably noticed it was unlocked before him.
なんじゃやぶから棒に
How dare you barge in like this? You,
黙れ。
Alan. Shut up. It turns out to be none other than numero 12, Alan Scorpion. He grabs him by the collar before closing the door behind him. Their sheer differences in height and build cause him to get lifted right up into the air by his shirt. Part of me wishes numero 4 was down here with us. There was no opportunity to call for him though, not to mention that it'd probably be for nothing if all the noise so far hadn't woken him up.
なぜ
You. Why are you here?
11の人じゃ
I could ask you the same question.
まあいい
Well, no matter. He returns his attention to him.
まずは貴様からだ
I will deal with you first.
ちょっと待ってください。いきなりやってきて、そんな
Let him go.
彼を離してください。
You can't just burst into someone's house and do this to them.
君はまた他人に肩入れしているのだな
I see you're meddling with others again. Well, the same with you, Alan.
あなたには関係ない。
What do you care? I can't lie. Right now I'm terrified. Those frigid eyes alone are enough to install fear in most people, but add in his build and lack of hesitation to use force like this. I can't run away though. I won't abandon him. If you ask me why, well, I'm not quite sure.
それに、私が人を呼んだら、不利なのはあなたの方だ。
Besides, there's not much you can do if I scream for help.
僕ならそれより早く君の動きを止められる
Unless I stop you from doing so.
待って話を
Wait. Listen to what I have to say.
声を出すのは僕が質問をした時だけにするんだ
Keep your mouth shut until I give you permission to speak.
わし貴様の未練を
I know your regret.
何
What?
だから
Hear me out. Although hesitant, he eventually releases him, and he lands on his backside again. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to have hurt him all that much.
お主焦っておるな
You seem awfully desperate, don't
余
you?
計なことはいらない貴様の情報だけ話せ
Spare me the attitude. Tell me what you know.
3と11の参加者がうちに来たのを見ておったのだろう
You're aware that numerials 3 and 11 came here before, aren't you?
だからなんだ
What of it?
安心せえうちには優秀なボディーガードがおってのあやつらにわしの未練は知られてはおらん
Worry not. I happen to have quite the reliable bodyguard, so they were unable to learn my own regret.
氏名と死因は知られたかもしれんがの
All they have are my name and cause of
な
death.
ら無用な説明はいらないな僕はお前の使命しか知らない
That's
それ以
what I
外の情
need.
報を教え
Then.
る
The only information I have on you is your name, so hurry up and tell me the other two. He takes a threatening step towards him. The height difference between them is staggering. How intimidating to have someone of his stature look down at you from so close.
待ってください。私はすでに牛塚さんの情報を知っています。
Hang on. You may want to reconsider since I've already gotten my hands on all of his information.
その意味がわかりますか？あなたはすでに同時指名のリスクを負っている。
I'm sure you don't need me to explain the risk involved when two people elect the same person.
僕の使命を君も知っているだろうそして3番や11番の連中も知っているだろう
My name is no secret to you, though. The same likely goes for numerials 3 and 11.
使命を軽んじるのは不本意だ今となっては指名の優先権を得るために僕自身のカードを晒すことはためらわない
As much as I appreciate the value of one's name, I take no issue in exposing it for the sake of earning the right to elect him.
私だってあなたに知られています。だったらもうためらう必要はないです。
That's funny, you happen to know my name as well. What makes you think I'd have an issue with exposing it in return?
君のその瞳が僕をざわつかせるんだ
Those eyes, they stir feelings within me that I would rather forget. Huh?
僕も 自身のカードを2枚晒すリスクは負えないな。だが君に未練を知られるのも今となっては危険かもしれない。
I can't risk having to reveal 2 of my own personal cards, but having my regret exposed to you here would also put me in a difficult position.
なるほど。この状況は力では解決できそうにない。
Perhaps brute force won't get me through the situation. I can only believe I was able to talk him down. Maybe it's thanks to what he pulled at the hospital with Keiko. There's no way the police wouldn't have eyes on him after that. It makes sense if he's trying to tread carefully.
欲を出してはいけないな。僕の目的は君が言った通り3番と11番の情報だ。
I'll cut to the chase.
動きを見せていない。
Numerials 3 and 11 are my main concerns. Yet they've made no moves after yesterday morning. What happened?
やっぱりあの人たちの動向が知りたかったんですね。
I figured that's what you're after.
言ったろ。わしの家にはボディーガードがおるとな。
As I said, I happen to have a skilled bodyguard.
だが、この家に貴様の未練への手がかりがあることは、これではっきりしたら。
That only proves to hint that your own regret sleeps within this place. I'm not sure how he managed to figure that out based on what he said, which means I need to really watch what I say from here on out. I might have convinced him for now, but there's no guarantee things will keep going smoothly.
貴様が言うボディーガードとは誰のことだ。この家には子供が居候していたが、まさか。
Sometimes the contrary is true. Care to tell me who the so-called bodyguard is? I can't see it being the child you've taken in, to say the least.
プロを雇う金もないだろう。まだ姿を見せない9番の男も結託しているのか。
I doubt you have the money to hire a professional either. Is numero 9 complacent? He's the only one yet to show himself.
どうじゃかな。
Who knows?
その線はなさそうだな。貴様は一瞬、僕を見上げるよりも上を見た。
Then
9番
again,
の男の顔を思い出していたというところだろう。
you are unsure about who I was.
まだ現実世界で接触はしていなさそうだ。
That means you likely haven't encountered number 9.
お主、何者じゃ。
Just who in the world are you?
余計なことはいい。
That's irrelevant.
侮れないな。あんな少女が連中を撃退するとは。
It's not a girl, it's a boy. I have to admit, I'm surprised that a little girl like her can fend those two off. I start to fret over just how much he can glean from the tiniest bit of information. Still, his statement proves that even he makes mistakes. Hearing him assume the wrong gender just as I did serves as a bit of a relief.
あの子はの、3の男にしばらくは行動できないくらいの怪我を負わせたと言っておった。
Ho ho. Apparently, numero 3 got beat up good. So good he won't be able to move for some time.
連中は協力しているみたいじゃから、11の女も数日は動けないじゃろうよ。
Numero 11 seems to be in coerce with him, so I doubt she'll go off on her own in the meantime.
悪いな。あんたの予想を裏切っちまってよ。
I thought she would be here. Sorry, old man. I don't exactly like to be the predictable type. You're here. Immediately after hearing that voice, I feel my body get sent flying toward the wall. Lucky for me, it is the wall where one of his coats is hanging, so it cushions the impact for me. But culprit number 11, she made her way in and knocked me aside straight away.
ほらよ。
Time to party.
貴様、いつから。
Were you here the whole time?
たった今だ。
I just got here. Her sights are locked on Alan. Surely he holds the upper hand based on physical build alone. Doesn't stop her from kicking at him like a bucking bronzo in a narrow hallway though. I should call for help. I should, but I can't bring myself to move. I'm not like Alan. The fear I have towards her in the dream world pales in comparison to how I feel now. This is someone who takes pleasure in harming others. It's entirely possible she'll target me if I even make the slightest move or raise my voice. That terrifies me. I don't even have it in me to try and negotiate with her.
その体は伊達じゃねえか。
Guess those muscles aren't just for show. Alan is no slouch either. I'm not quite sure how to describe his fighting style. He keeps finding opportunities to strike back after dodging and parrying. I could tell how powerful each of her blows are based on the loud smacks heard when Alan blocks one. Neither is able to score direct hits on each other, and this long, narrow hallway doesn't allow them to move sideways, so they pressure one another without moving from their initial positions. I'm here to get the scope on that geezer's regret. As am I. Oh, then let's hug it out and work together. I refuse. Too bad, he must have some real dirt on you then. Excuse me? Letting your guard down now, even for a split second can prove fatal. Even I know that much. But Alan seems to have done just that. She wastes no time in delivering a swift kick to his gut, causing him to back away. This might sound weird, but I'm rooting him for this time. I need him to win for my own sake. Neither am I ally, but Alan was at least willing to talk. That makes him a safer bet than that woman. As much as it pains me, I am praying that Numero 4 will come down to save us. That's how powerless I am in this situation. Alan takes another step back to create more distance between them, which effectively corners him. You ain't the kind of guy to talk things out under normal circumstances. That's the impression I get anyway. From what I can tell, the chick over there probably has all the info she needs to eliminate the geezer. Sounds about right. So now you run the risk of electing him at the same time as her, even if you manage to get what you came for. I guess that you were in the process of figuring out how to deal with your little pickle. You seem like the type to reach conclusions through situational evidence. That also tells me you haven't been able to gather any info since you and your partner were shooed away by that little girl. Perhaps I overestimated you. Alan takes this opportunity to deliver a counterattack. He lands a solid hook against her shoulder, which causes her to retreat back to her initial position. Man, you sure you don't want to buddy up with me? I'd only put myself at risk of having to compete with you for the right to elect him, so no. As much as I dislike anyone thinking I'd go out of my way to help these people, having you retreat is my best option now. She grins from ear to ear, but I notice that he has managed to slink off during all this time. Just as I start to wonder where he's slunk off to, first steps from the stairway give me my answer. Don't go down there, you should hide. No way, I can't hide when you're in danger, but first let's belong to Numero 4 who comes running down the stairs. It's weird how 5 of the 12 candidates are in the same household. He's like he's just woken up, but he doesn't seem tired at all. Different people from before. You know how to fight, yes? Assist me. So she's the baddie and he's the buddy, is that right? He reveals himself just long enough to nod in confirmation. 2 against 1, huh? Now we're talking. Numero 11 shows no fear, just as her words imply. The prospect of this fight has her thrilled. But just before we can start, the blaring of police sirens pierce the walls of the house. They are getting louder, closer.
また戦おうぜ、アラン・スコーピオン。社長様。
Guess I gotta bounce. Till next time, Alan Scorpion, or Mr. CEO if you prefer.
やはり
So
知
she
られてい
was
たか。
aware. She burst out of the house immediately after, uninterested in hearing any replies. The silence continued for a while afterwards, so I assume she managed to get away. I'm relieved that one problem has resolved itself, but I have to at least admire her ability to react and make snap judgments like she did.
近所の誰かが通報したのかの。
A neighbor must have called the police.
いえ、私が友達に頼んで通報してもらいました。
That was me. I texted a friend to call them.
なんじゃと。
Really?
言い訳はお願いします。
You can explain things to them. I couldn't bring myself to speak up, let alone move. Numero 9 was wary of me the entire time, but her line of sight was focused on Alan. You mean Numero 11? He gave me enough of a window to message Maharu. I gave her this address and asked her to call the police. It was a gamble. No, she'd actually check her phone, but the cards were in my favor this time.
警察？おじいちゃん何にも悪いことしてないよ。
Why are the police here? He hasn't done anything wrong.
大丈夫。そうじゃなくても来る時があるの。ややこしくなるから、ちょっと隠れていよう。
Don't worry, sometimes they visit people even if they haven't been bad. We should hide so things don't get complicated though.
仕方ない。
Agreed. We're piling into his room just as the police park in front of the house. And morning came. The three of us sat in silence. There's something surreal about me. Numero 4 and Alan all hiding in a room together like this. The fact that Alan has agreed to it provokes that I'm right. He's avoiding the police. I figured he was a monster before, but his fight with Numero 11 made it all the more clear. His skills have nothing to do with him being a man or his massive build. I'm willing to bet that he could take on an armored officer and win, but even he doesn't want to turn the entire police force against him.
どうにかなったわい。
Things sorted themselves out somehow. He came across to rescue us from this suffocating silence.
ならもういいな。
I'll be taking my leave then.
おや、これからこの子にカレーを温めてあげようと思ったところだ
Oh,
が。
and here I was about to heat up some curry. Do you want some?
わーい。起きたらお腹が空いてたから食べたかったんだ。
I've been hungry ever since I got up.
ちょっと。
Oh, are you serious?
あんなことをされはしたが、わしらを助けてくれたんじゃ。まあ、作ったのはお主じゃが。
Sure, he was a bit rough with me, but hey, he did help us out in the end. I'm sure he won't mind if he gets a taste of your curry.
あんなこと？
A bit rough?
よいよい。ほれ、待っておれ。
Never you mind. Here, take this. He removes the leftovers from the fridge and pours it all into a pot before Alan even gets the chance to answer.
クミン、カルダモン、ターメリック。悪くはないか。
Not bad.
いただこう。
I will accept. What? He takes a seat at the table as expressionless as ever. As much as I want to flee right now, I'm a bit too concerned
って
now.
ことは12番のお兄さんは敵じゃない。
So, Numero 12 isn't a baddie?
今はな。
Not for now.
あれ？でもお兄さんも選定の参加者なんだよね。
Really? But you're a participant too, aren't you?
ああ、
Indeed.
でもどうしておじいちゃんを守ったの？
So why'd you protect him?
守ったわけではない。偶然、利害関係が一
I
致しただけ
didn't. Our interests just happened to align.
利害？
Interests?
だ。ああ、
Indeed.
そっか。よくわかんないけど敵じゃないならまあいっか。
I don't know what that
お姉ちゃ
means.
んのカレーとっても美味しいんだよ。
But I don't care so long as you're not a baddie. What matters is you're gonna love this curry. It's awesome.
そうか。
I see.
でね、
Oh, and I start to panic as I listen to the painful exchange. The lack of emotion on Alan's face makes it impossible to tell when he'll explode over Numero 4 acting overly friendly.
貴様はどうしてあの老人と一緒にいる？
What would possess the old man to take in such a runt?
貴様？
A runt?
君のことだ。
I'm referring to you.
おじいちゃんがね、僕を拾ってくれたんだよ。僕、記憶喪失ってやつみたいだったから。
He found me in the street and decided to take me in because I have amnesia or something.
そうか。3番の男を退かせたのも、体に技術が身についていたというわけか。
Indeed. There's another game I played where a person lost their memory, but somehow their physical abilities in combat were still there. even though they have no memories of how they got it. I see. Your body must remember how to carry itself if you were able to fend off Numerial 3 in such a condition.
それ話しちゃっていいんだ。
I don't think you should have said that. I'm surprised by how readily he delves into such crucial information. Alan may not be his enemy for now, but that's no reason to go and tell him everything.
アレンでいい。
Just use Alan. Alan. I wasn't sure how to address him, but he wastes no time in providing a fake name. He must be aware that I know his true name. I consider doing the same, but I'll leave it alone unless he asks.
アレンさんはこの後どうするつもりなんですか？
What are you planning to do next, Aaron?
物騒な話は食事を終えてからでもよかろう。
I think we should leave that discussion after we eat. He butts in as he brings the curry over. He only carries 2 plates, since neither him nor me will be having any. Alan nods in response to that proposition. When I think about it, Alan's from India. Knowing that someone from the land of curry is about to eat my rendition of it makes me a touch nervous.
美味しい。
It's so good.
これは
My gut sinks the moment he takes a bite. There's a huge contrast between the slow, disinterested way he eats in comparison to how Numerial 4 wolfs his down. Wait, why am I nervous at all?
こんなところまで似ているとはな。
I never expected the similarities to go this far. When I noticed he said something, my eyes meet his.
家族がかつて戯れに日本のカレールーを買ってきたことがあるだけだ。
My family once brought some curry rooks from Japan out of curiosity.
奥さんとかですか？
Your family like your wife? He glares at me in response.
僕のことを探っているのか。
Is this how you fish for information?
否定はしませんけど、深い意味はありませんでした。
Maybe. Honestly didn't mean anything by it though.
そうか。もっともこれは一般に知られている情報だが、僕は未婚だ。
I see.
家族というのは配偶者の意味ではない。
Well, it's public knowledge that I'm not married. When I say family, I refer to a relative.
ごちそうさま。
Thanks for the food. The tension is dispersed thanks to the outburst. I'm so glad he had no idea how to read between the lines. I never expected Anna to talk about family though. It's pretty normal for most people, but I somehow thought he was one of those rare sorts who had no attachment to them. That aside, I'll assume he didn't think the curry tastes bad since he didn't say anything about it.
スプーンを使うのがそんなに珍しいか。
Is this so odd for me to use a spoon?
いや、そんなことも思ってもなかったですけど。
No, of course not. Before hadn't even crossed my mind. Thinking about it, I guess I always do imagine people from India eating curry without utensils. I guess they only do that when eating it with naan bread. But since he's eating Japanese curry, I don't think about it until he brings it up. That look on his face when he asks though, it's so meek. I can't help bursting out in laughter.
僕の国は日本では偏見を強く持たれているらしいな。
I see. Japan has a rather narrow-minded view of my home country.
いや、そうじゃなくって。
That's not what I'm laughing about. He seems a little peeved, judging by the tone of his voice. My nerves, coupled with the fact that he's always seem impossible to read, make it all the harder to hold back my laughter. He eventually brushes me off. He hands Numerial 4 his plate and spoon to be taken to the sink. Not long after, he makes tea for all 4 of us. Alan takes a whiff of the tea before switching his cup with his before taking a sip. His face contorts immediately. I can't tell if there's an issue with his so-called bland or Japanese tea in general, but he's more expressive than I expect. Meanwhile, Numerial 4 is rolling his head around on the table out of boredom until Alan breaks the silence.
さて、重津。僕には少し発音がしづらい名前だが、それはいい。
I find your name somewhat difficult to pronounce, but regardless,
僕の目的はすでに分かっているな。
it goes without saying what I'm here for, doesn't it?
わしらの情報。カ
You have-
ードじゃろ。
You have your eyes on our information, correct?
ああ。最終的にはここにいる全員を脱落させるが、そう欲張りはしない。
Indeed. My intent is to eliminate all of you here, but I'm willing to settle for at least at the moment.
意外じゃの。わしらを脅迫してでも情報を集めると思ったがの。
Well, color me surprised. Here I was expecting you to threaten us all into giving you what you wanted.
その少年は記憶喪失と言っていた。であれば、脅したところでカードは出てこないだろう。
The child mentioned having amnesia, so that hold true. I see nothing coming from doing so.
そして君も同じだ。未だ手がかりがない。これは僕の勘ではあるが、まさか君も自分のカードを忘れているのでは。
That applies to you too. I have no evidence, but my gut is telling me that you have no recollection of your own cards either.
不確定にもかかわらず、強引な手段に出れば、長期的に見て不利になる。
I'd only be putting myself at a disadvantage by being rash. Amazing how he can say that after what he pulled with Keika, and he thinks Numeria 4 is a girl. It proves that even he makes mistakes. He said that Alan's actions seemed desperate. I feel like that applies even more with what he did to Keika. However, I'm surprised that not knowing the contents of my own cards could work out for me like this. As for Alan's comment, Numeria 4 is the first to
勝
respond.
手なこと言わないでよ。それはおじいちゃんが脱落するってことじゃないか。
Hang on a minute, that means you want to eliminate him.
そんなことさせないよ。この人は今から敵。
I won't let that happen. You're a baddie from here.
落ち着くんじゃ。わしが嫌じゃと言ったらどうするつもりじゃ。
Calm down, pray tell. What do you plan on doing should I refuse to cooperate?
予想はついているだろう。ここまで来た以上、ただ引き返すことはできない。
You likely know the answer. I have no intention of leaving empty-handed.
やっぱり僕がこの人を。
I knew it. Let me at him.
わしはお主らが傷つくのを見たくはない。それにアレンと言ったか。お
No.
主はまずそこの娘を狙うじゃろ。
I don't want to see you two hurt one another. Besides, you would go after her first, wouldn't you, Aaron? I don't doubt that. I'm ready to make my escape whenever necessary, but I doubt I could even reach the hall safely should Alan target me for real. I could negotiate him thanks to the info I have on him, but right now I'd much rather maintain the status quo.
わしの情報を教えよう。ただし条件がある。
I'm fine with revealing my information to you, but only on one condition,
聞かせろ。
which would be
わしが脱落するまでの間、この家を守ってほしいということじゃ。
I want you to
11の
serve.
女性はわしの家を狙うじゃろうからの。
I want you to serve as our bodyguard until my elimination. Your job would be to keep this house safe, especially from Numerio 11.
わしやこの子が傷つかんよう守ってほしいんじゃ。
In simple terms, I ask that you protect both myself and this child.
僕があの女から貴様らを守ったとして、もう一つ懸念があるのはわかる。
Let's assume I agree to these terms. How do you plan on dealing with the other issue? He casts his gaze over to me.
わかりました。アレンさんが牛塚さんの条件を飲むなら、
Fine. I
私は
refrain.
牛塚さんの指名を行いません。
I refrain from electing him if you agree to go along with
ち
this.
ょっと待ってよ。いらないよ。あの人が来ても僕がおじいちゃんを守るよ。
Why even bother? He doesn't need anyone but me to protect him. His kids are visibly flustered, but it's Alan who opts to respond.
まだわからないのか。
Are you that delusional?
何が？
What's that supposed to mean?
重次は君を傷つけたくないと言っているんだ。
He proposes this to avoid putting you in harm's way.
僕を？
It's for me?
あなたにもわかるんですね。家族がいるからですか。
I'm not the only one who caught that, huh? You wouldn't happen to have family you're close to, would you?
その質問には答えない。
I will not qualify that response.
そうなの？
Is
おじ
he
いちゃん
right?
当然じゃ。
Of course he is.
お前は強いかもしれん。じゃがわしはお前が怪我をするところは見たくない。
Strong as you may be, that doesn't make it any less distressing to see you get
で
hurt.
も僕が勝てれば。
But if I beat him up then...
思い上がらない方がいい。僕が君と本気で戦うとなれば。
Don't overestimate yourself. You may be a child, but I would hold nothing back if I fought you.
無傷で済むとはわしには思えん。
The chances of something happening to you are just too high. It's clear that he's seen him as family. There's a direct parallel to what he's saying now in Keiko's actions when Alan took her son as hostage. Alan's face is expressionless ever, so I can't tell if he created a situation on purpose or if it's mere coincidence.
おじいちゃん、僕がおじいちゃんの敵をやっつけるから喜んでくれると思ったのに。
I figured you'd be happy if I took down all the baddies for
お
you.
じいちゃんがこの人たちのカードを集めれば守れるんじゃないの？
If you really want to protect me, then why don't you take all their cards?
同じことじゃ。彼らから情報を引き出すのは容易ではない。
For the same reason I don't want you to fight in others. It's not as simple as you think.
悪いが家族ごっこは後でやってくれ。一つ目の条件は飲もう。ただし選定の日までどこかの部屋を提供してもらう。
Save this argument for later. I'm willing to accept your first condition, but only if you provide a room for me to stay in. He clarifies his reasoning after seeing his surprise.
僕としてもこの国で自由に動けない。数日でも滞在先ができるのは悪い条件ではない。
I haven't the luxury of doing as I please here, so being provided with somewhere to stay for a few days in exchange isn't a bad deal.
いいじゃろ。ただし二つ目の条件も飲んでこそじゃぞ。
Very well, of course. I'll need you to accept my second condition as well.
分かっている。
I'm aware.
いい。
Whatever. Numero 4 stands up mid-conversation, almost in a direct attempt to interrupt them.
もういいよ。
I don't care anymore.
ちょっと。
Hey! He leaves the room immediately. Alan doesn't seem fazed, but the same couldn't be said about him.
すまんが少し待っていてくれ。
Pardon me, could you give us a moment? There's no reason to worry about his safety on the streets at night, but it's entirely possible he could start something with the police if they approach him. Leaving Alan and him by himself is too risky though. It's pretty scary to sit here all alone with him, but I stay behind regardless.
やれやれだ。
Good grief.
あなたのこと勘違いしていました。もっと常識がない人だと。
I have to admit, you struck me as a far less reasonable person. Looks like I might have misjudged you.
そうか。
I see. Perhaps buying time through conversation isn't my best idea, since I'm no good at it, and he makes it a point to say as little as possible. 10 minutes pass and not a single word is exchanged. Alan sits silent. The only action of note is when he blinks. I thought I'd be okay, but it's starting to get to me.
リンカ、君は
Rinka, I have a question for you.
あ、
Yes? He is so abrupt that I struggle not to jump out of my skin.
生きたいのか？君の行動は生きたい人間の行動には見えない。
What exactly is your goal here? Your actions don't strike me as someone who wants to live through this ordeal. I can't say he's wrong. I never even stopped going to school after divine selection begun. Not like he knows that. He's likely basing his claim off the way I'm involved myself with other participants. In all honesty, I'm not even sure how I ended up in this situation myself. But what I do know is that it's all been due to my own judgment. As often as I've questioned how much my life is worth, I never once resigned to the idea that I'm fine with being eliminated. When I put all back together, it's easy to answer his question.
私は生きたいです。
I want to live. I want to make it through this.
あなたには非効率的に見えるかもしれないですけれど、これが私の生き方なんです。
My actions may seem roundabout from your point of view, but this is just me staying true to who I am. I'm sure of it. These may be extraordinary circumstances, but I'm not built to adopt to them. Average is all I know. I'm easily influenced and prone to sticking my nose into what I shouldn't. That's me. That's what defines Rinka.
愚問だって。
I shouldn't have bothered to ask.
病院で君の瞳を見たとき、僕はとっくにそのことに気づいていた。
The look in your eyes at the hospital told me all I needed. Maybe it was my imagination, but I think I see him throw a faint smile as he says that.
リンカの生き方がどこまで通用するのか見させてもらおう。
In that case, I'm looking forward to seeing how far that mindset can take
ど
you.
ちらにせよ、君自身が忘れているなら、問い詰めても君の情報は引き出せなさそうだ。
For now, there's little point in pressing you for information that you have no memory of.
どこでそれ
But
を？
who told you that?
君は選定のルールを忘れていたな。自身のカードを忘れていても不思議ではない。死因や未練を自覚していないからこそ、
It's
身をさら
logical.
して行動できるのだろ
It's logical to assume that you forgot the contents of your own cards along with the rules of divine selection. Perhaps not knowing your cause of death or regret makes it easier for you to act the way you do.
もっともそれはあの少年も同じではあるな、ああいった手合いは他の参加者を脱落させてカードを得るほかないだろう。
The same goes for that child. Participants like that have little choice but to focus on eliminating others in order to learn about themselves. It really was obvious that I'd forgotten everything about divine selection during my first visit to the Court of Fate, especially after my discussion with Maharu and needing Parser to explain things over to me from scratch. Had he taken the possibility if I forgot my own cards into consideration ever since?
アランさんはあの子の情報を得るために牛塚さんの条件を飲んだんですか？
Did you agree to his terms in the hopes of finding out more about the kid?
その意図はなかったな。だがなるほど。
I didn't.
ここにいれば何か手がかりが得られるのだな。
But now that you mention it, that does make for a decent plan.
あの無防備な少年だ。何かの拍子に話してもおかしくはないか。記憶喪失というが、例えば
Bloody hell.
夢というのは深層心理が呼び起こされる場合もあるから。
It's either you've been stalking us this entire time, or you have knowledge of this somehow. That one seems to the type to reveal important information when one least expects it. Perhaps while asleep. Considering the amnesia, dreams can serve as a bridge to the memories buried deep within the psyche.
さすがにそれは都合が良すぎるか。しかし、なるほど。
That may be a bit too convenient, but your point still stands. Cutting the conversation off here seems wise. The last thing I want is for him to somehow extract information about Maharu from me. She set it up so everyone thinks we've had a falling out, but at this rate, I might end up splitting the beans on that and more. Setting that aside, I'm surprised he agreed to his terms so quick. Assuming what he said was true, then it isn't just because he sees value in doing so. There's more to it. He lets his emotions take the wheel, from what I can tell. Not like I'll ever say that to his face.
ようやく戻るか。
They took their time getting back. Huh?
足音が聞こえた。玄関まで行ってやればいい。心配するな。僕はここでじっとしている。
Footsteps from the
約
entrance.
束を保護にされても構わん。
Feel free to check if you want. I have no intention of breaking my promise, so I'll remain here. He's right. I hear noises coming from the entrance. I make my way over to welcome them back. But 5 or so minutes after he began his search, he found the person he was looking for on his way home.
ここにおったか、ユウ。
So this is where you went, you.
どこかへ行こうとしたけど、僕は記憶がないから他に行く場所なんてなかった。
So that's his name? It's hard to run away when you don't have any memories of other places to go. Ah, he referred to Numerial 4 as you. But that wasn't his real name. It was a name he gave the boy upon their first
おじ
encounter.
いちゃんは僕のこと嫌いになったの？
Do you hate me now?
そんなわけなかろ
Of course not.
ならどうしておじいちゃんが脱落死んじゃうようなことを言うの？
Why are you okay with getting eliminated? You know you'll die, right?
おじいちゃんが死んだら僕は一人になっちゃう。
You know that I'll be all alone, right?
本当の家族じゃないから。
Is it because we're not a real family?
本当の家族が無条件に一緒にいるとも限らんよ。
Yes, I was thinking that as well. His family abandoned him. Even real families aren't guaranteed to stay forever, I'm afraid. He cast a solemn gaze up to the night sky as he spoke. Having lost his wife far too soon, he spent his days battling loneliness. Meanwhile, his son got married after graduating college and getting hired into a financing company. He got along with his daughter-in-law at first, but things changed when she became pregnant. Perhaps it was more accurate to say that he changed. Knowing the baby was on the way, both made a decision to move out. His son was gradually moving up the corporate ladder, so it felt like the right time to go. And that was when his battle with loneliness reached its zenith. The stress it caused him led to outbursts of violence. His attitude took a drastic turn, and he became stubborn over the most minor of things. He would complain about his daughter-in-law's cooking for no reason. His actions eventually led to their hastened departure from his home. The loneliness and self-hatred that followed changed him even more. They did get back in touch years later, but nothing ever came of it. His issues eventually led him to gambling, which he used as a means to distract himself. This in turn led to him racking up more and more debt to the point that it almost affected his son's family. It was then that they cut all ties with him. Years later, he visited their home, only to find no one was living there. They had just up and vanished. Perhaps they thought the exact same about him, considering how little contact he made with the outside world.
そうだったね。おじいちゃんが話してくれ
Alright.
た。
You told me about what happened.
悪いのはわしじゃ。じゃが、お主はそれを知ってもわしと一緒にいてくれた。
That was all me. But in the end, you opted to stay with me, even after hearing my story.
他に行く場所がないからなどという利害関係だけでないことはよく分かっておる。
You may have had nowhere else to go, but it's clear that you weren't hoping to use me for your own interests.
利害？よくわからないけど。うん。僕はおじいちゃんが好きだから一緒にいたんだ。
Interests? I don't know what that means, but sure. I'm staying with you cause I like being with you.
お馬さんを見たり、ボートも見たりした。
I like going to see the horses and boats and all that stuff too. Ugh.
何より、一人ぼっちの僕を助けてくれた。記憶がない不安よりも、この家にいられる安心の方が大きいよ。
But the biggest reason is that you gave me somewhere to belong. Just being here helps keep my mind off my own amnesia. Over a month has passed since the line for section began. Both he and you had spent the majority of that time together. To others, their relationship may be fundamentally flawed. To he, however, their relationship was that of a true family.
わしはお前を家族だと思っておる。
No matter what the others may think, you are family to me.
僕も、そうだよ。おじい
Same
ちゃんは
here.
僕の唯一の家族だ。
You're my one and only family. There is no preface to a statement. For you, the presence took precedence over his lost memories. His words were proof of that.
じゃが、わしは死ぬ。
But it doesn't change reality, but I will die
お
though.
前たち若い連中は運命のいたずらのようなもので本来の寿命よりも随分早くに命を落としてしまったんじゃろうが、
You
わしは
young,
違う。
you youngins may have had your lives cut short by one of fate's pranks, but that isn't true for
あの
me.
日、腰を痛めなかったとしても、もう追い先は長くなかったんじゃ。
Even if my back hadn't given out that day, I didn't have much time left.
わしの願いは、できるだけ長くお前と過ごすことじゃった。
That's why the only thing I desired was to spend as much time with you as possible.
ささやかな願いじゃった。だからこそ、必死に生きようとする者たちに拒まれたんじゃ。
It's a simple desire, but one that can't compare to that of the younger people giving it their all to survive.
わからないよ。難しくって。
I don't know what
僕
you
にもおじい
mean.
ちゃんが言っていることがわからない。
That stuff is too complicated for me.
ゆう、これからの生き方は、お前が決めるんじゃ。
What I'm saying is that it's up to you to decide how you live your life from here on.
僕、
It's up to me?
ああ、生きたいと思うんじゃったら、選定を勝ち残るんじゃ。
Indeed. If you have even the slightest desire to live, then do everything you can to make it through divine selection.
思わない。そう思えないんじゃったら、わしは止めはせん。
If you lack that desire, then I won't stop you.
決められないよ。僕は、そんなもの。
You can't make me choose like that. You have to and you must.
決めねばならんのじゃ。わしは数日後にはもう死んだことになっているんじゃからな。
I'm afraid you have no choice. My elimination is a matter of days away.
嫌だ。嫌だよ。おじいちゃん。
I don't wanna lose you. You was growing more upset as the conversation carried on. He, on the other hand, remained as calm as
お
ever.
前にユウという名前を与えたのはわしの過ちじゃったかもしれん。
Naming you may have been a mistake when I think about it.
記憶喪失じゃからか知らんが、まさかその名前でカードが作られるとは思わんかった。
I'm not sure if your amnesia had any effect on the outcome, but I never expected a card to form from my doing so.
お前は自身のカードを忘れていることが強みじゃったが、それを一つ奪ってしまったからの。
Not knowing the contents of your own cards was your greatest asset, and yet my actions ruined it.
そんなことない。おじいちゃんが名前をつけてくれて僕は嬉しかった。だって自分の名前もわからなかったんだもん。
No, they didn't. They made me happy. You gave me a name when I couldn't remember my own.
それは嬉しいわい。ならばわしの願いは一つじゃ。
Ho ho, I'm glad to hear it. In that case, I only have one wish for you.
無理に生きろなどとは言わん。ただ誰かに何かを与える喜びだけは知ってほしいんじゃ。
I won't tell you to press on and live if that's not what you want. However, I do want you to understand the joy of providing something for another. Much like how he had given you his name, not only a name but also a place to call home.
わしも優に大切なものをもらって死ねる。
I'll be able to pass on something on that I received from you too.
僕がおじいちゃんに何かをあげた？
Had I given you something? I don't remember doing that.
そうじゃ。
You have.
ダメだ。やっぱり僕にはわからないよ。何もわからない。
I don't get it. I'm trying to understand, but I just can't.
じゃったら徐々にわかるようになればいいんじゃ。その時にはその喜びもちゃんと理解できるじゃろ。
Work toward understanding it then. Once you do, you'll be able to share in my joy. He rested a hand on Yu's head before patting it. His words and actions were cheerful despite the context of their conversation. Meanwhile, Yu was unable to find his answer. He has not accepted his reality. At the same time, that state of mind made him all the more susceptible to what he had to say. So eventually he came to understand what was about to transpire. He was going to perish, and there was absolutely nothing he could do about it. I happened to overhear their conversation. I don't intend to, but that's no excuse. I don't catch the entire thing, but one important detail didn't slip by me. You. The moment he called a name for that, my book began to glow. The resulting card contains nothing but those two letters. I'm glad Alan wasn't nearby when it happened. Things would only get more complicated if any of them learn that I know now his name. I repeat that name to myself. I figured that he had given him a name, but I never expected that name to be the one on this card. This would have been far more difficult to believe if I hadn't had that conversation with Mahalu about one's perception of one's name. What did he have in mind when giving him that name, though? Surely there's some meaning behind it. Doesn't matter. I've somehow ended up with all three of Yu's cards. But I don't have it in me to elect either of them now. If Alan elects him, logic dictates that I elect you. I try my best to convince myself that's what I was going to do, but it's not that easy. We make our way back to the living room after I meet them at the entrance. Another conversation starts up once we're all gathered, but it dies off pretty fast.
すまんの。
Apologies for the wait.
構わない。僕からは特に話すことはない。僕のために部屋を用意すればそれでいい。
I've said my piece already, so it's fine. Give me a room and I'm satisfied.
わかっておる。
No need to worry. I'll do just that. You still isn't happy about the scenario, but regardless, the conversation is over. Knowing that, I decided to make my own way back home. A bite far later than planned.
君も11番の女に狙われるかもしれない。
Numero 11 might have her eye on you as well. Yeah.
もっともあの女は僕の方を狙ってくるだろうな。ああいうタイプは決着をつける方を優先する。
Although she'll probably target me first, setting the score tends to take priority to people like her.
それはこっちの少年が狙われる可能性もあるということではあるが、僕がいる限り心配はしなくていい。
I'm not the only participant here she'd want to do so with, of course, but there's no need to be concerned. I plan to keep my end of the bargain. I'm so stunned by his apparent concern for me that I struggle to find a way to respond. What is it with this guy? First, he threatens to kill a baby without hesitation. Then he agrees to his terms that don't entirely benefit him. To top it all off, now he's worried about my safety?
バイバイ、お姉ちゃん。ご飯、とっても美味しかった。
Goodbye.
忘れないよ。
And thanks for dinner. I don't think I'll ever forget how delicious it was.
ありがとう。まだちょっと残ってるから。お
Thanks.
腹が空いたら食べてね。
There's still some left, so go ahead and heat it up when you're ready. Allow me to see you
That's it.
off. We then make our way out to the living room.
そんな玄関まででよかったのに。
You didn't need to leave the house with me. Now I feel bad. He follows me outside rather than see me off at the entrance. It's uncommon for us to be alone together, so I take this chance to clear my doubts.
静香さんが脱落したら、ゆうくんはどこで
Can
暮
I
らす
ask
つも
what
り
the
だったんですか？
okay? Can I ask what the plans are for you if you get eliminated?
盗み聞きとは趣味が良くないの。
That's quite the naughty habit you have there.
わざとです。あなたがつけた名前。
Sorry, I did that on purpose. You gave him that name, didn't you?
そうじゃ。あの子は優しいけれど、勇気もある子じゃ。
I did. He may be a kind child, but he's also a courageous one.
勇という響きは日本人らしくもあり、外国人らしくもあるじゃろ。
The pronunciation of you sounds both Japanese and foreign, doesn't it?
勇。
Wow. I must admit that I never expected a card to result from it.
私の推測ではありますが、カードの情報は本人の認知が大きく関わっているみたいです。
There is speculation on my part, but it seems like each participant's own personal perception holds a sizable influence over their cards.
なるほどの。で、勇のその後じゃったの。
Allow me to answer your question, though. I nodded my head, urging him to continue.
現金で100万ほど用意してある。
I have around 1 million yen stowed away for him to use as he sees fit. My first reaction is to look around after recovering from my own shock. I'm worried about any lurking burglars overhearing him, but I guess anyone sneaking into that house is in far more danger than they're already inside. Yeah. Thanks to those two.
選定が終わるまでの約2ヶ月であれば、その金でなんとかなるじゃろ。
That should be plenty to get him through the remaining 2 months of divine
あ
selection.
の子が選定の後どうするかはわしが関われることではないじゃろ。じゃが、贅沢をしなければ記憶が戻った時帰国するくらいの金は残っているはずじゃ。
It's not a place to dictate what he does afterwards, but if his memories return, then he should have enough to return home, assuming he doesn't spend it all, of course.
そんなにお金を。
Of course, from that gambling habit. How did you make that much money?
選定が始まってからわしが家にある現金をかき集めて売れるものはすべて売り、
There
まあ
are plenty
いろ
of
いろ
ways
し
to do
て集め
so.
た金じゃ。
I gathered up as much as I can to find in the house and sold off anything of value for one. He mentioned before that his pension and benefits were his only source of income right now. He talked about being in debt as well, so I could only assume that he went through some shady dealings to gather up that amount. Knowing he did it all for you's sake, make it hard to judge him for it though.
貯金なんぞ全部使い切ったし、口座も凍結しておったからの。苦労したわい。
It was pretty difficult, I tell you, especially when they froze my bank account and I'd already used up my savings.
後のことを構わず家探しをしたんじゃが、片付ける気にもならんでの。家は散らかっていたじゃろ。
You saw how messy the house is, no? I turned the place upside down looking for things to sell, but couldn't find it in me to clean it back up afterwards.
どうりで。
That explains. I slapped both hands over my mouth for a moment. I realized what I'm about to say. It might be the true, but it's still rude to say such a thing out loud.
構わん構わん。
Oh, don't worry about it.
というわ
Regardless.
けじゃ。お主が心配することなど何もありゃせんよ。
Regardless, there's no need for you to be concerned about him. He lets off a heartfelt laugh. I can't find a human in it though, so I just nod.
じゃあの、また夢の世界とやらであったらよろしく頼むぞ。
I guess I'll see you again in the dream world. Yeah. Thanks for everything.
いろいろと。
世話になったのはこちらじゃよ。
Come now. I should be one thanking you. He shovels back into his house. That's how it should be. Things are looking good for me right now. Even so, I make my way home with a knot in my heart. Well, thank goodness for that. Family, huh? Well, we shall come back to this in the next time, folks. Things are pretty escalating at the moment, and it was a pretty big surprise that Alan is now cooperating with us. To a certain extent. He's finding mutual benefit to aid the two back in his home, as in the old man's home. But thank you so much for watching, folks, and see you all on the next time of Fatal 12. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.